Welcome back. You're watching Rise and Shine on a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm Sharifa together with Ishan in the studios, and we've got the guest in. And let's welcome our guest today. And we have Mr. Amaranath Ranatunga with us, lecturer at the University of Visual and Performing Arts. A very good morning to you, Mr. Amaranath.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning? Up early?
Well, yes, I came early morning for the program. 5:30 I came.
Do you usually wake up that early?
Yes, it's normally early.
So it's not like
not
kind of a different thing for you?
Not a difficult thing.
And yes, Mr. Amaranath, let's kind of have a basic introduction about yourself.
I started the guitar when I was 8 years, but I played pop music, my popular music. When I was 11, I started to play the classical guitar under American guitarist and teacher Mary Sanders. After that, when I was 18, when I was 17, I came to that there's a very popular style called Flamenco guitar, mostly popular in Europe in those days. Basically, it is the 100% is a Spanish style.
That's flamenco, is it?
Yeah, flamenco. So I turned it to the flamenco guitar. But if you're going to be a good flamenco guitarist, you must have the basic things of the classical guitar. You must practice, I mean.
So meaning classical and flamenco goes hand in hand, is it?
Yeah. Now in all of the universities in the world, there are degrees for the classical and flamenco guitar. So even the best thing, if you're going to be a serious flamenco guitarist, you must have the basic classical guitar techniques, and that is the base. Very good, good thing for especially as a player. So after that, now the University of Visual and Performing Arts, they started the Western University department in 2004. I joined the university as a lecturer.
And you have been apparently the very first Sri Lankan lecturer, is it?
Yes, I'm the first lecturer in the other thing, I developed the syllabus for the 4-year degree. I'm the first Asian to develop the syllabus for the classical and flamenco guitar. And our university, Visual and Performing Arts, is the first degree started in the Asia for the degree of classical and flamenco guitar.
Is your because you developed the syllabus?
Yes.
Is it actually adapted in other countries as well?
Yes. I got all the syllabus from the universities, and I studied them. And
no, I mean, is the syllabus that you created, is it being taught in other universities, in other countries?
Not my syllabus,
okay,
but similar to that.
Similar to
that same basic things.
So you mentioned that you started playing guitar when you were 8. How did you come across the guitar? Was your father, for instance, a guitarist, or
no.
Your parents?
No. I
was musically inclined.
My parents, they don't do any music. They don't are keen about even music. My father is very against the guitar. So now, during my school days, I studied in Kerry College, Colombo. There was a good friend of mine, a young boy, my same age. He plays the guitar.
Okay.
So because of him only, I started
even I've got to give it a try.
How did you come across the guitar? I mean, did you borrow it back then, or did you go buy one? Or?
No, I said my father that I want a guitar. I told my father he got a guitar, but he didn't think that I'm going to play all the time with the guitar, because he was keen about my studies.
Right.
But after that he got so angry because every time I used the guitar.
So it didn't
making a lot of noise at home.
No, there are a lot of problems at home.
So now, I mean, you did this quite some time ago, when you were young. Back then, the general consensus family thing for children was that you have to become an engineer or doctor and all that. Do you have?
Yeah, correct. My father wanted to be a doctor or engineer like that. He didn't want to be a millionaire. But now my father didn't gone, but he'll be happy now if I sit here, because now I'm a lecturer in the university with the guitar gone. Even my friends, I played for a band when I was 21. I left my band. Even the members of the band, they were so angry because I was a very good lead guitarist at that time. So the band was fully discontinued because of I left the band. I left the band to study seriously the classical and flamenco guitar. Even now they are so happy with my decision, because during that time they said this is not popular in thing. Even in England, the classical and flamenco guitar is not popular.
Right.
Even the Royal Academy at Trinity, there are no exams of the guitar. So now we have the exams and diplomas, everything. But during that time, no exams also, the guitar.
Yes, and we were talking a lot about the guitar and flamenco guitar and all that. So I guess it's time for us to move into a live performance, Mr. Amarath.
Yeah, this is called Deep. It is a composition by, I had done this composition. In this, I tried to demonstrate 75% of flamenco guitar techniques and about 25% of the classical guitar technique. This is very rare thing now. Now, most of the flamenco guitarists, they use 100% flamenco techniques. Most of the classical guitar, they use 100% classical technique. But nowadays, it is easy. The player to become a good guitarist, you must study classical and flamenco both. Now, with the studies of these both styles, I have composed this. In this, I am using all these techniques. It's called Deep.
Let's have a go.
Thank you.
Awesome indeed. That was called Deep,
And
isn't
that
it?
was deep as well.
Very deep.
Thank you.
And one of your compositions.
Yes.
And you'd also mentioned about flamenco. So maybe like most of our viewers are not aware of that. So if you could briefly explain them the real term of flamenco music.
Flamenco is based in Spain, 100%. That is 100% Spanish style. In 1500, these gypsies actually. These 100% they compose. I mean, the inventors are gypsies. So they started this flamenco style as singing first. After that, the dance and the guitar. The guitar came to accompany all the singers and the dancers. But nowadays, modern times, singing and dancing has gone down, and the guitar came up with a lot of talented players. Most of the best players in the world, I mean, if you get from categorized from number 1 to number 10, all are Spanish, still Spanish. They are one thing. So in 1500, Spain was the guitar was so popular in Spain because of the gypsies. They made go with the guitar, and they are the inventors of this style called flamenco.
Which was pretty much derived from classical.
There are some very popular folk music style in Spain. With that style, they had another style. The gypsies had another uncommon way of singing all these folk tunes. They all get together and make this style. It's called flamenco.
I think so one thing interesting that you mentioned, and another thing that people don't realize is that there's a very popular sort of a pop band around. I'll tell the name in a second, but they play sort of a derivative of flamenco as well. It's called Rumba Flamenca, I think.
Yeah,
and the name of the band is Gypsy Kings.
Gypsy King, yeah. They are very popular. They are there now because they are they not only popular. They very made all over the world. They are popularized this style. Yeah, they are Gypsy King. They're 100% from Spain.
Right, and I mean, their songs are popular in Sri Lanka, and you know, if you go to like dance, ballroom dancing class and all that, you use especially for salsa and rumba kind of dancing. Also, you mentioned that flamenco dancing is popular, but it's not
not in Asia.
Okay.
Even in Europe, only in Spain.
Because that was a huge a huge part of the flamenco guitar as well.
Yes, yes. The guitar came to accompany them from the dance for the singers. Nowadays, the dancing and singing went down, and the guitar came up. Because the guitar is very popular. I'm not saying it because I joined there. And guitar is the most popular instrument in the world. So especially the classical and flamenco guitar are the best part of the. If you are going to be a good guitarist, you must learn the classical and flamenco technique to be a fine player. I mean.